Good evening and welcome to the Neighborhood Center. My name is Vicki Anderson. I'm Executive Director of the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center. And my guest this evening is Kimberly Buck. Welcome, Kim. And she is our finance manager at the Neighborhood Center and also gets involved in other parts of programs that we put on. And that's essential for a not-for-profit, is to have flexibility and, you know, whenever somebody has a gift, a talent, an interest, and to let that happen. And this has been a wonderful program that we're going to be discussing with everybody tonight. And it's January, and believe it or not, we all need to be getting our tax papers together and be ready to present them. And April will be here before we know it, and we want everybody to be prepared. So this is something that we've been doing for about 6 or 7 years. We have been a site for TVCCA, Thames Valley Council for Community Action, and it is a free tax preparation service. And it has worked out beautifully, and we're a site again for our neighborhood. And I'll let you start, Kim, with describing how this will work and when it begins and where people can call, that sort of thing.
Very good.
Yep.
The TVCCA program is called VITA. It's the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. It's IRS sponsored, and the volunteers that prepare taxes are IRS trained and certified. We have 2 programs this year. One is another tax aid program which focuses on helping seniors prepare their taxes, and that's AARP. So the TVCCA program meets in the evening on Thursdays, and the AARP program meets during the day on Thursdays. So there are 2 opportunities to get your taxes prepared, and both of these programs are at no charge to the taxpayer. This is important because when you're going to get a refund, you'd prefer not to have any of that money go elsewhere. You can use it for your own household expenses.
Right, and a lot of what we do in the human services part of our program area, we serve human services plus senior services, so these 2 tax programs literally cover everything that we do. And there's not, if you're coming to the Neighborhood Center for emergency food and emergency fuel, you don't have that extra money to go to a preparer, and you want to go to a good preparer, someone that really knows what they're doing. They're IRS certified, and sometimes people have run into problems, you know, going to other places. So that they may have heard was good, and then they owe them a lot more money than they thought they would have, and that sort of thing. So we want to be, and we have been, a very, very good resource for people. And the dollar amount that a family can earn and be eligible for TVCCA was raised this year, wasn't it?
Well, it's, if your income level is up to $53,000, you can have your taxes prepared at no charge through the TVCCA VITA program. And many people aren't sure if even what their income level is. They can call and find out if they qualify for the program. Sometimes one part of their tax preparation or another might make it out of our scope of our program, but certainly call and find out if you qualify for the program, and we can let you know if you do.
Now, would they call the Neighborhood Center, or would they call TVCCA for that?
Well, TVCCA is where they would call to make the appointments for the tax program. They book the appointments. However, they come to the PNC to prepare the taxes on Thursday nights. There are a couple of other locations if Thursday night isn't an option for you, and when you call the TVCCA number, they'll be able to book an appointment at a convenient time and location for you. So the number to call to make an appointment through the TVCCA VITA program is 860-425-6597. Those appointments, you can call to make your appointment at any time, even if you don't have your documents yet. The first appointment is January 29th at the PNC. Some appointments are available as early as Monday the 26th, but we are already booking appointments for Pawcatucks. Many have already been booked, and they're starting to book into February. So don't delay calling just because you don't have your documents yet.
Wow. And we may have repeat customers coming.
We have many repeat customers, yes.
Yeah.
They come again because they like to come to a familiar place that's comfortable and welcoming, and also feel secure that their taxes are going to be quality reviewed and checked and e-filed.
Right. And that's a huge, Thursday night is the e-file night.
They send them in right away, and it shortens the time that it takes to get your refund back.
And also at the neighborhood center, you have privacy. You're not in a large room at long tables, and you have privacy. We've managed to be able to set it up where each office is its own preparing center, and I think that helps to make people feel comfortable coming to the neighborhood center, you know. And we have, which is part of TVCCA's plan with the program, they have people who are host and hostesses, and welcoming you to the building, and welcoming you that evening. And because an appointment has a certain amount of time, they know how long they're going to be there, and you know, maybe on occasion somebody has to come back or they have to fill out something else. That's another story. You know, we work with things like that. But for families who are able to get out in the evening and drive over to 27 Chase Street on Thursday nights, after you've made your appointment through this number that Kim just gave, and we'll give it again and again so you know it, it's truly a remarkable service to the community. We put in our newsletter, our December newsletter, it's remarkable. In 160 families at the PNC site had their taxes done for free. 160 families, whether they're North Stonington, Westerly, Stonington, Mystic, had their taxes done for free. And state refunds were $34,677. The state earned income tax credit is $53,998. Federal refunds were $205,448, and the federal earned income tax credit refund $85,428. And the outcome of this was that almost $250,000 was returned back in to the local economy, back to families that can then spend it on things that they need to spend it on. And that is just absolutely mind-boggling to me. Almost $250,000 that we're able to actually say this was done here, and it's done at our site because we open our doors and welcome people in, welcome TVCCA in, but TVCCA makes it possible for us to be a site and in our little corner of Connecticut. It's incredible. And you are one of the preparers, and hadn't been in the past, but you decided it was something you wanted to do.
Yes, and they are looking for more volunteers.
Are they?
If you have any interest at all in, if you're a person in the community that would be interested in providing this service, helping to provide this service, you don't have to have a CPA background. You just need to be able to pass the training courses and learn the information. It is rigorous. I mean, the testing is difficult, but it can be done. And if you, Kim Berry from TVCCA will work with you, help you feel confident with the training. And you wouldn't prepare anybody's taxes until you're ready to do it. But perhaps you're a retired CPA and you'd like to give back to the community in that circumstance. So we have some active CPAs who have small firms that donate their time through the VITA program. So you might have a financial background, but you don't need to have one. Just an interest in the dedication to follow through with the program. The volunteers get together, we have a good time, we enjoy doing it, and we enjoy helping people out to get their access to their best prepared tax return that they can get.
Right.
Not everyone has a refund coming, but we're able to help them get their taxes prepared. If you've prepared your taxes by yourself in the past, and there are options, free e-file, or there are home programs, you may want to take a look at coming to a site like ours to have it done, because there are some changes. There are changes each year. The new one is the Affordable Care Act, and that
Right.
will affect people's tax returns. And if you're not quite sure how that's going to affect your tax return, it might be worth giving us a call and having a conversation about that.
What are the documents that people need to bring? Say I've called up and I've made an appointment. What are the documents I need to bring with me?
There is a list of documents. You can, we can tell you about it when you call for the appointment, and it's accessible through TVCCA's website, tvcca.org, and we also have small brochures that you can pick up at the neighborhood center that will have a list of them.
All right.
But what they are, each member of your household that's going to be on the tax return needs a Social Security card, and a tax ID number, and that card needs to be presented. A valid photo ID for the adults on the tax return. All your income forms, W-2s, 1099s, 1098s. If it applies to you, there's a new form this year, which is the 1095A, and that's a document that is being sent out through the Affordable Care Act insurance marketplace. Not everyone would get one of those. If you're covered by insurance through your employer, that wouldn't apply this year.
Okay, this is the new health care.
Yes.
Okay, the Affordable Care Act, but it's Health Care Act is
Yes.
is what it is, and there's a form for that. And
If you've applied for
Yeah,
insurance through the
yeah.
marketplace, you would
Okay.
get one of those forms. If you'd like your refund check direct deposited,
Yep.
Please bring a voided check.
Oh, that's a good point.
If you
Yeah.
want the money to go into the correct account, which I'm sure you do, bring a voided
Yeah.
check so that we can be sure of the number. For split refunds, there's a possibility of splitting the refund between your savings account and your checking account. If you want to do that, make sure you bring both numbers.
Oh, that's good.
If you're claiming daycare or elder care expenses, you need to have the amount paid and the caregiver's name, address, and Social Security number or business tax ID number if it's an established business. If you're itemizing, we can prepare your return, but we need proof of your deductible expenses for that. Taxes paid on your home or car, any of those deductible expenses. If it's available, bring your last year's federal and state tax return. It's not required, but it helps us to
I bet that would help a
know.
lot.
It helps to know if we've covered everything.
Yeah.
When you come in to the neighborhood center, there's a greeter that helps you organize your documents and paperwork.
Oh.
And there's an interview form that you can fill out that will go over any applicable situations. If you don't understand any of the questions, the greeter can help answer them for you. But such things as, did you get married during the year? Did you have a child? Did you adopt a child? You know, who are the people that are possible dependents on your tax return?
Right.
All that gets covered on the interview sheet.
That's very nice, because if you walk in there and you've got everything in a bag, threw it all in, you hope you got everything, and you walk in flustered, to have somebody sit down with you and kind of settle you down and then put everything in order, calm you down, and this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have all that documentation prepared and organized for when you go in for your actual preparation.
And somebody's sitting there at a computer to enter things right online that night.
Yes, it gets entered. We don't save any of the information. It's not retained at the neighborhood center. It's an online filing program. And it gets entered into the IRS program, and once it's prepared and been checked, it can be e-filed. And any questions that anybody has, they can ask Kim Berry, who's very experienced with this, and she is available at the number that we gave, the 425-6597. And she'd be able to answer any questions that anybody has before their appointment. And she is usually present that night, or another experienced supervisor at the
We
neighborhood
have 4
center.
preparers on site?
We do have 4 preparers. As the program grows, we may need to have some more preparers or people to cover if someone can't be there.
Right.
We have substitutes available, but we can always use
Sure.
interested people to come volunteer.
Yes.
We haven't covered very much about the AARP
Okay.
program. That's
Yep.
new to us this year, and it's available during the day. For those appointments, you would call the neighborhood center and speak to me, and I would book the appointment. I don't prepare taxes in that program, but those are going to be prepared during the day by the team of preparers that they've established in the past. It's a program that's been ongoing for some time, but this is the first year that it's been at the neighborhood center.
Yep.
And there are 6 dates for that, and they're between 11:30 and 2:30 are the beginning times of the appointments. And they have an hour set aside for each appointment. And there are still plenty of them open, but
Good.
please call early so that you have the best opportunity to get an appointment for that.
You don't want to be delinquent in your tax filing, no. And AARP, for those who don't know it, is the American Association for Retired Persons. And at the neighborhood center, we do have a senior center. So it makes all the sense in the world that AARP would be doing taxes where we are, and just haven't before, but this year will be our first time. And having it during the day for when many seniors who don't feel comfortable driving in the evening, or they can't drive in the evening and somebody else must drive them, or whatever the circumstance might be, it's always been a daytime program. And so we do have some space available, and we decided that we would do it, and to see how it worked out for this first year, just like we did with the first year of VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, with TVCCA, and we'll see how it works. And I have great hopes for this. I think it's a logical connection. It's during the day. You have an appointment. It's half an hour, perhaps, and you do call and schedule with Kim at 860-599-3285, extension 13. And she'll be able to tell you when the next appointment is that's available. And the first daytime appointments begin, what is it, February?
On February 5th.
February 5th, Thursday, February 5th.
And it's alternate Thursdays, so it's February 5th, the 19th, March 5th and the 19th, and April 2nd and April 9th.
Okay.
So beginning February 5th, there are 6 dates available with multiple appointments available on those days.
Wonderful. So you could, if you know of anybody who needs this done and would like to have it done, and you want to give them a ride over, or if somebody that we know, we do have a senior transportation program, and they would, need a ride to get to the neighborhood center for this, we can also, make arrangements to pick you up and bring you over for your appointment. But it's very important that the tax laws don't remain the same each year, do they?
They don't.
I mean, you've just gone through a training.
Yeah.
Was it an all-day training?
Yeah, well, it was several hours, but it's not. That's not the only training. That you have to really do some studying.
Oh, you do?
And go over the materials. But the much of the laws stay the same, but each nuance, perhaps they've changed just the threshold of an existing program. But you need the guidance of the materials that we have and the website, and much of it's done automatically through the software program, but you still have to know how to actually enter the material. So it's an exciting time to, we are excited to look forward to doing it, but we'll need to have people come and call and make their appointments
Make your
as soon as
appointments.
possible.
especially for the evening appointments, we know from experience that they fill up very quickly.
They do.
And so we want to accommodate everyone. So we had last year 160 individuals, or families, I should say, households, right? Household of one or household of many, come to the neighborhood center throughout. So 160, that's a considerable amount. You divide that by the number of days and, just number of hours available in the evening. That's quite a few to get through and to have processed correctly, and the people got a refund if they were owed one. I think it's terrific, and it's something that maybe you don't want to be thinking about the beginning of the year. Today is January 12th, and you might not want to be thinking about taxes, but the sooner you get all of your things together, give yourself time to get all your paperwork together, and having one of these, or going online, or calling and talking to Kim, and she can tell you what, speaking directly to you, what items you need to bring in, or where you need to call to get them, and having as much of all of this together as possible makes you feel better. And if you don't have them all together, don't let that stop you either. I don't think. Come in because you do need to have your taxes done. You don't want to get behind and be in arrears with taxes owed and all of that sort of thing, especially when this is a free service, and we're in your neighborhood, and we're there to help you. So we encourage you to make your appointment either for TVCCA or AARP. And we know that we have enough parking, we have enough of all those sorts of things. But as Kim was saying, if there are any of you out there that maybe are unemployed at the moment, and this would be something that you would enjoy doing, and maybe you've done something of in the past, consider calling and seeing if you can become trained in this, or if you are a retired CPA. And you like being retired, but maybe you'd like to also, as you were saying, give back to the community, and for a few nights for the next few months, not right in a row, but you're able to do taxes and help your neighbors with that. And I think it would be great for a retired person. It's also great for somebody who's unemployed and is looking for work. And this may be an avenue that will put you into a line of employment you hadn't considered before.
It could be. People don't have to be unemployed to volunteer. We have many people that work all day long and then come out and prepare taxes at night, and we really appreciate their efforts as well. One thing that we do at the neighborhood center and through TVCCA as well is that people can sometimes learn about other programs that are available to them when they come to an organization like ours. For instance, sometimes people have come in and they have had only a part-time job and have been struggling to find work, and they find out about our job club program, and they find out that they can come to the neighborhood center and have help working on their resumes and work towards finding another job for the next year, and they've been excited to find that out if they haven't been familiar with us in the past. The other thing is that they can find out, especially the seniors coming, they can find out about the senior programs that we have available, which they may not have known about before. So it's nice to have them become familiar with the neighborhood center, and sometimes they like to volunteer at the neighborhood center, and they don't need our services, but they like to come and join the fun and help people throughout the year.
We need them. We need them. So we wanted to take this opportunity this evening to get people thinking about getting your taxes done, and to let you know that we have two ways of helping you get your taxes done. And Kim is a trained preparer through the TVCCA program, and this will be our first year as an AARP site. So we want to do everything we can to help you get your taxes done and be a resource for the community, and that's why we exist, frankly, is to be of service to the community. So thank you very much for coming on the show tonight, And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday during the day or Thursday evenings to have your taxes done at the Neighborhood Center. And we'll see you next week on the Neighborhood Center.